Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.
So can we say we are Muslim, or we are Christians, or we are Jewish, or we are Buddhists, while we are Africans? Because question, how do you become a Maponga? Irumba. How can you become Maponga?
I don't think I can become a Maponga. I must become Irumba. I am Irumba.
Thank you.
I can't become a Maponga.
So how can you say I become a Muslim? How do you become?
I am Irumba.
How do you become what you are? Give me a recipe of changing a goat to make it a chicken.
Eh? What did you say? What did you say?
How did you change a goat to become a chicken?
Bishop.
I am already Irumba. You are Maponga. So why am I trying to become a Maponga?
That happens here in our community. When you say, okay, they try to show us, I'm Yigga, I'm a Muganda. If I go to a church, a mosque, and I tell them, I'm a Yigga. Yigga is my Uganda name. Then the other one is a Muslim name.
Muhammad.
Yes, when you tell them that I'm a Yigga Muhammad, no, it should be Muhammad and Yigga. Now, after getting the little education, I was like, no, I first became Yigga.
Before
the Islam. Is that right if I reason to them like that?
You're very right. In fact, what they told you, the question is, what legal right, spiritually, do they have to name something they never brought into existence? Islam is not your father. Islam is not your mother. You're not coming out of a womb of Islam. You're coming out of the womb of the Muganda. So the one who births it must name it.
There is this narrative, Bishop, that in Muganda, once a man and a woman meet and she gets pregnant, that's a cultural function that has been performed. Therefore, they have formed a person that day or night. Now, at that time, for them, that God was there. It was God who made that possible. Now, on this side, we are saying, no, that's a cultural thing that has been performed for us to have this child. What's your take on that?
Both Islam, Christianity, and Hebraic literature like the Torah would admit that children are a gift from God. So, firstly, it will be nice to outline that there is nothing called an illegitimate child. All children are legitimate.
I hear you.
Because there is a legitimate husband and a legitimate wife. But they will be involved in illegitimate activity. And how do they become legitimate? They become legitimate when the parents of the father, the parents of the mother, which happens with the husband and the wife, have agreed to give access to their womb to you to reproduce. Why must they give you access? So that they can protect the offspring from irregularities and allow the child legitimacy of existence and allow the child access to wealth and estate so that they don't become a vagabond on the street. They must come through the right channels. That's why families must be involved. It's not because there's a sin. This problem of sex before marriage is sinful. There's nothing wrong with sex. But the problem is the results of sex are going to create societal problems, which both of you, in the midst of your enjoyment, you may overlook the future of this child. Hence, the backup of the families must come together. And the coming of the couple with the blessing of the family becomes a holy matrimony. The meeting of the couple without the parents becomes illegitimate. Hence, we say there's no illegitimate child. They're illegitimate parents. Father is illegitimate, the mother is illegitimate, because your mother does not know where you are, your father does not know where you are, and you guys are doing something that will give both of us as parents headaches.
Yeah. But now the child that they are getting.
The child remains a blessing.
So the child is legitimate.
The child is legitimate. It's you, both of you are not were illegitimate.
Illegitimate culturally, godly or spiritual.
Parents are illegitimate culturally.
Culture, okay. Parents are illegitimate.
Yeah, but culturally speaking, the child, in as much as they are born from outside, then we have backup systems. That's it. Then. He or she cannot be your child. The child belongs to the wife. Until you come and show your head to admit that you are the one who caused the problem. Then you are asking for permission after eating the fruits. May I please have these fruits, but you've already eaten them. So you are paying for what is already in your stomach. Then you have to redeem your child. That's where now African culture comes in now. As to how do you get a surname of your child whom you had outside of wedlock. Then you must still go through the process. The aunties must know. The basic thing you were supposed to do at the beginning, you're still going to do it again to legitimize your action. But the child is already legitimate because she remains with her mother using the mother's surname until a father claims authority and ownership and says it's mine.
Yeah. Now, Bishop, practically, this is me, my example. I'm a Muslim, a practicing Muslim. I like my religion.
But does your religion like you?
Not even his. It's not even his.
I'm just misbehaving.
But now, Bishop, this is the scenario. I'm a Muslim. I like my religion. I practice. But also, I like my culture. I'm a Muganda. I know we have the Creator. When I look at my culture, we have...
The Creator is called Katonda in Uganda.
Yes. Now, this is where I am. I don't drop my culture, even my religion. I pray 5 times a day. I do what my religion tells me. But also, at the same time, I'm moving with my culture. Would you take that person to be not knowing what he's doing, or would you be against that?
Maybe you need to sit down with yourself and then qualify function. What is working for you? What works for you?
I would say right now it is working for me.
And I'm saying what works between the two.
Between the two.
If you are supposed to choose which one works, which one adds meaning, which one makes you happy, which one satisfies you, which one connects you with your past, which one gives you a present good life, which one gives you a future, which one would you want to send your children to? And
can I respond to that?
Yes, you can.
Like I told you earlier, I know in my own wisdom, I know I first became a Muganda, then a Muslim. That's why I'm moving with both, and I'm happy moving along those lines.
Okay, you have a tree, and you are avoiding my question. You have a tree that is standing there.
Yes.
And then you have a parasite.
Yes.
Tree. That comes to sit
on the tree.
On the tree.
Yes.
And it is enjoying everything.
Yes.
From the mother tree.
Yes.
And the man says, I'm enjoying both. But what you don't know about parasites, when they stay on the branch too long, some parasites are actually able to destroy the main tree.
I agree. Eat
it up, dry it up. And unfortunately, when that tree dies, the parasite also dies. There's an opportunity that you actually end up losing both. The tree and the parasite. I'm not mixing my words. Islam is a parasite on you, on your Uganda culture.
On a Muganda.
It's looking beautiful right now. Both are green. But given enough time, Islam will slowly and constantly strip you of your culture, brainwash you, drive you until it leaves you around the black stone. And that's the all family that you care about, the religious family, your African family, constantly starts moving away.
The African family.
It's a call that you must make. Right now it's great, beautiful. Let's give it another 3 generations. And you as a man, you have an opportunity of rewriting the history and changing the trajectory for your own children. You are writing your grandchildren's future right now. With that two-mindedness, you're writing a history. The day you close your eyes and your family comes and Islam comes, that's when I will know that what you are saying is not true. Because when Islam comes, it will tell your family, he's our member. This is how we bury in Islam. This is how we watch. This is how we watch. There's your family sitting on the corner. And now, who has taken over?
Islam. There is a way, Bishop, that our families here in Uganda have tried to build this right from our parents, that they try to balance having is the religion and the culture at the same time, and train their children within the two, and you get the education, you get the teachings, cultural teachings and the traditional teachings and trainings, and for them they will look at this person as right, having been brought up rightly. If you have this culture, what as a Muganda, but also you are practicing this. And somehow we have been convincing ourselves here that, yeah, this person is okay.
Just a simple one for you. I personally don't tolerate people who don't tolerate me. I don't respect people who don't respect me. Right now as a Muganda, you can go to Saudi Arabia. Will they tolerate your culture?
They will not.
So why must they come here and they must tolerate their culture? So who is a servant here and who is a master? Because Islam is Arabic culture, Arabic language, Arabic dressing, Arabic weddings, Arabic funerals. If they're the way, they would even use Arabic money, Arabic business. Everything must be done. And your allegiance is not your country. Your allegiance is to Mecca first. Then your country comes second. Because we are evangelizing the world. It's a political organization that is driving people away from their countries. And then if you had a chance right now, if 10, 15 million, and there's a call from Mecca to say, we want money, you will send money to Mecca.
Yeah, I would.
So brainwashed to that level, where you would even send money to Mecca to come and kill Museveni. Because Museveni let's say Museveni destroys a mosque.
Yeah.
And Saudi Arabia says, give us money. We will remove him from power. You will contribute.
Indeed.
You will contribute to kill your own father and mother and uncles to protect the religion. So the question is, are you still yourself?
There's something there, Bishop. I myself, okay, right from my father, I got this from my father. He trained us that we are Muslims who are Uganda. Me, you'll never find me. He's a good friend of mine. He has never seen me putting on that attire for the Muslims, for the Arabs, the council. I don't know if you've ever found me in that. Even if
but when you go to the mosque, then you put it on.
Yes, I don't. Why? Because I'm a Muslim who is a Muganda. So I don't do things that I know they are for the cultures of the Arabs. But I know praying is for God. This is for God. So I only do those which.
And now the challenge is that the God you're talking about has been packaged by Arabs.
Yes.
You call them
the Arabs. Yes.
The Arabs. You're not paying allegiance to the God packaged by Baganda. Isn't that
I have a good one for him.
Isn't that the argument, Bishop?
I have a good one for him.
Yes.
Because he's saying he's very loyal to the God, but a God that has been packaged by Arabs to him is very loyal. He is not being loyal to the God that has been packaged by Uganda.
There is a question, Bishop, there before you come in. If I may interject here, Bishop, maybe you can put me right here on this. One, in Uganda, I'm a Muslim who respects my culture, Muganda culture. In my culture, we have gods. But I know there is the Almighty who is above all these other ones.
God of gods.
Yes. Now, this is where I need some guidance, Bishop. Much as I know there is this Almighty, to me, why I'm moving with both my religion and my culture, I know my religion, I'm praying, I'm looking at that Almighty, who is also put forward to me by my culture. And these other small gods, or other gods that we know, or that we have in my religion, I don't despise them. I know they are there, and I'm okay with them. Is that right? Or I should leave them because I know I'm following the Almighty.
If you are just, you want to worship superiority. You want to worship knowledge.
Knowledge.
You want to worship what you know. You want to worship what you have come to believe in. You are now moving your conversation to a totally complex space where you are admitting that you are having an iPhone, but you want to run it with the Samsung software.
You're having an iPhone and you want to run it on a Samsung software.
You're saying it will work.
I get you.
It will work. Actually, in Uganda, it works. The hardware could be something else, but the software could be something else. Okay, let's say we are able to install the software of iPhone. So
On a Samsung
the
phone.
phone is working like what? What is working?
Software.
I get you.
So when you allow a certain quality of software to manage your hardware, at the end of the day, what is working? Is it the hardware?
It is the software.
The software. So you have actually abandoned
The hardware.
your culture, your hardware. And what is now obsessing you is your software. And you are trying to manipulate the Uganda body to comply with. And if you had a choice to kill between Islam and Uganda culture, don't answer me. I know what you would destroy.
And even from his submission, he said he respects his
Culture.
being a Muganda culture.
Yes.
And he respects his religion.
Yes.
In Uganda, the head of the culture and tradition is the Kabaka. In Toro, our king is Omukama. In Ankole, where Dr. Kirankuba comes from, they had Omugabe. He's no longer there. Omugabe, hey.
Sounds like our President Mugabe.
Hey, those ones, they refused him to come back. The Dr. Kirankuba, they refused to reestablish. No, I'm saying the people there. No, it's not even the president, the people there. It's not the president, but the people. They don't want the king back, the Mugabe back. So they refused. For us and him, we accepted. The point is this one. When you hear him say, I respect my culture and traditions, and I respect my religion, he prays 5 times a day. Ask him, how many times does he visit his Kabaka? That's number one. Number two, the kind of allegiance he puts to the head of his traditional culture, is it the same as the one he gives to the religion?
I think those are rhetorical questions. Who respect him, he does not need to answer them. I think the point is clear.
Because in a religion, it could be every Friday could be taking money no. He takes money every Friday to the Muslim.
Yeah, so but
he does not do it to the Kabaka.
Respect about, he must do 2 weeks this side, 2 weeks this. If you are doing 5 times a week, 2.5 to Kabaka, 2.5 to Allah, then I know that you are saying. As I said, given a choice to kill between Islam, your culture and Islam, I know which one you would sacrifice.
But Bishop, at least me I can talk. But many of us are like this in Uganda.
Yeah, that is how we are told.
You get, at least me I can talk. Others will not. But this is how we are told.
But does it make sense?
Yeah.
No, that's why I'm asking. That's why I'm enjoying this conversation. That I'm discovering. I told him I'm one person, I like getting knowledge from people who have the knowledge. Yeah, that's what I told him as we were coming. So to me, Andrew, me and you, we know that many of us here in Uganda are like this, but they are going to hide.
Yeah.
They don't even want to, actually for them, they cannot even tell you that they respect their cultures. Others even they have stripped their names, those traditional names off their...
Just remain them Islam only.
Yes, but me, I'm proud of being in
And
Uganda.
let's also not hit them hard, because a religious persuasion, when it is given with devotion, it opens up business opportunities. So there is something we may want to call cultural Islam. There's something we might want to call religious Islam. There's something we might want to even call political Islam, where politically people are forced to become
Or
Islam.
economic.
There is also what we might call economic Islam, where people have actually become Muslim
Because of the
So at
economy.
the end of the day, when you look in them in the eye, the question is, are they Muslim?
Yes.
Or they are workers using Islamic religion? Or they are politicians using Islamic influence? Or they are Muslims simply because they want the funeral cover and policy? People can come and bury them when they die, so the Muslim can give them support. So the intentions of religion must be very clear. Had there been no cultural superiority of Arabs over Africans, economic biases, Muslims are doing better than Christians, cultural dominance, and it was just Allah is standing there, Kabaka is standing there, and the person is free to choose without biases. Maybe we would begin to look at the honesty and legitimacy of people joining a religion simply because they really believe in Allah, rather than they were being persuaded, or my father made me do it, or this is what I found at home, or this is how the community was. Then it becomes conditioning. It simply means that you if you have been brought up amongst the cannibals, you have been eating human beings also. That's all you know. But humanity cannot only be measured by how you were brought up, because there is more happening outside where you were brought up. If I make sense.
Yeah, it
And
does.
for you to say, me, I'm in Muganda, me, I'm in Muganda, I'm here.
I'm doing this because this is how I was brought up.
Then you
Yes.
stop around and say, hey, Muna, there only 65 million here.
How did you learn, Muna?
There is another 268 million in Nigeria. There's another 55 million in South Africa. There's another, and for you to think that your conditioning in your environment is the alpha and omega of understanding of theory.
I am doing this because this is how I was brought up.
It's a good argument, because it is, you are saying at least I'm working from what I know.
Yeah.
But what I know cannot be all I know. It can't be the end of it.
Remember when we talked about what I'm studying, I talked about generations. And I told you that what drives a generation, the political, economic, social events,
The religious.
and the religious events that we go or that we witness as we grow up and when we come of age. But also, these have what we call conditioning factors that are coming from outside. Now, like the thing now, what I've learned from you, for instance, today, is also going to impact on how I'll behave sometime to come. Because I'm going to sleep over it. I was with this man. We talked about this. Is it working? Is it not working? The people we interact with, that is social. So I think what you're talking about, I agree with it 100%. The impact on our way of living.
And imagine if I had flown in from Saudi Arabia as an imam, and you were asking me the same questions. Imagine the advice I would have been giving you. I'd have been giving you total opposite. You must be devoted. So when is the next trip to Mecca? when have you done?
By the way, have you prayed now? It is 1 p.m. Have you prayed?
So again, the quality of your association then begins to impact also on the quality of your well-being. And again, those who lock themselves in the cocoons of their own knowledge systems and This is where I'm coming from. When I was full-time in the church space, and you are an Adventist, and you are told only to think within the walls of the church. But you are saying as a church that the world belongs to God. And you are telling me as a church to must love everybody. But no, you love them, but don't marry them. Don't interact with them. Don't go to their churches because they will contaminate you. But is God not for everybody? Then why is it that he can only be found here? And then you break away and you start walking into other spaces and you discover that even what you thought you understood in your church, other people begin to add more value to what you're learning. And I forfeited brilliant opportunities to learn from indigenous people, from politicians, from church people, because I was locked in a religious.
I think you have the same background like him.
He's a priest like
Yeah, he told you his background.
We come from the same background. We have spent 7 years in a religious.
He was in a seminary for so many years.
Doctor.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes.
Yeah, Catholic seminary.
After getting all this, he was like, no way. This is not the way.
And again, what makes it more painful, my honorable, is that we have all these careers that we teach our people. I'm a journalist, I'm an accountant, I'm an engineer. But are you aware that with all your careers, at the end of the day, you are worried more about your soul than about your career? So why not make theology a basic training tool, which is philosophy, which then allows you to champion your path into academia, but already punctuated and calibrated properly on a religious platform. So we have professional people who are religious toddlers.
Religious toddlers.
Toddlers. They can't even walk. They can't even think. They just follow what the leader is in front saying. They must depend on. They must depend on us.
No, that one is a nice one. I need it. Religious toddlers.
But professional. He's doing his
Yeah.
doctorate right now.
Yeah.
But the question is asking me a kindergarten questions which have to do with his soul, which he has not answered. So the whole
He's doing PhD, but he has not answered
the basic question: how do I get saved? How do I redeem myself? Do I go through? Will Allah take me where I'm going,
Bishop,
or will my culture take me there?
Bishop,
That's what he's asking.
Bishop, am I wrong if I conclude that it was designed by these people who brought the system, the education system, to us like that, for us not to get that theoretical knowledge, to study it more, because we are going to question all these I'm asking you?
It's meant to be like that. Institutions that major in politics, the ruling of people, the most dangerous thing we can have is self-determination and independence of thought. It's not allowed that you must think and you must challenge the status quo. That's disruption. People must follow
what you're saying.
Guidelines. So in economics, here are the guidelines. In education, here are the guidelines. In business, economics, here are the guidelines. Sports and entertainment, here are the guidelines. In health and technology, here are the guidelines.
They designed it.
In spirituality, you must get a book that I wrote entitled African Questions and African Solutions.
I have that. No, Sirajje, I have it. Don't worry, I will give you. He left me with your number.
Which then takes
I will give you one free.
But I said you must sell. Now you give it for free. You can afford it. Now you can quote in your PhD. So understanding these 7 frameworks of mind, at the center of them is now the government institution, which must manage the community. This is where we put regulations to manage the community. And that's where prisons come in, on the left, for those who don't comply. So in this environment, it is therefore intended that all systems must make people obey the laws that are there, so that it is easier for the system
to manage them.
That's politics, the art of governing people.
I have a question there, Bishop. Looking at the economies that are in Africa that are trying to break away from that. I'll use an example of Uganda. Yes, we are not yet there. Nigeria, maybe.
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, I'm not yet convinced, but
we're on sanctions for 22 years. We're running a parallel system.
Zimbabwe here, you are completely broken. Maybe I've just,
no,
you
there's
just started
something that is
rebuilding.
that is bringing, which is
Come
very
up with a
important.
parallel system.
Yes, with having sanctions, it also gives you an opportunity to think
Barclays
out of the
Bank,
voice.
Standard Bank,
Yes.
they all left. The people, what am I doing? Black people are now opening their own banks.
Exactly.
They're creating their own insurance company.
That's what Venezuela and Cuba did.
That's creating a parallel system.
Venezuela and Cuba and even Russia. Russia now during the war.
China.
When they stopped their banking system.
Now that's where
Russia
my
said
question
okay.
is, Bishop. The good thing
Actually, they push you to think harder. How will I survive without America? That's you start thinking.
You are coming from an environment which has suffered these bogus sanctions.
When they were still praying,
Yes.
the same white man's God, and he was not answering our prayers.
Yes. Now, to me, the question here is, maybe we can use Zimbabwe as a case study. How have they tried to break this jinx of the white man to come up with the alternative?
Number one, crisis creates opportunity. Comfort creates complacency. There's one time where business is business. There's another time where business becomes a necessity. And another time where business becomes a crisis. Where if you don't, then you will collapse.
I like that. Irumba,
And
are you recording that? I like that. There's something that we talk about.
Muganda chabamanya bwatambula na Irumba. When you move with Irumba, everything will be on record.
There's something that we call whether economics in entrepreneurship is a necessity or
is a demand.
Whether it is a demand. That's what you have just talked about.
So when you say how did you break apart?
Yes.
It's one thing to go learning swimming because you're going with friends.
Just a
Another
luxury.
thing to go learning swimming
Because you're drowning.
Because your job. No, because your job requires you to
learn swimming.
To swim. You
Yes.
must be a rescuer and the thing.
Or if you're going to work in the airplane.
As a police, yes, you must swim. It's a requirement. It's not a real crisis, but it's important. It's necessary. Hey, but the day I push you into the sea,
You'll have to learn it.
no, and you have no time to practice.
You just do it.
It's drown or float.
Yes.
Then all the knowledge that you know about swimming
You will come.
is to kick in, and the sharks are circulating. You must do what you should have done long time ago, and now you must do it now.
Yeah.
Two options.
Yeah.
You may come out. Second option, you may find you 11 kilometers down the sea. So economies of the world, they are in those three sections. There are these colonial economies that we inherited without mixing our words. Economies such as South Africa. You do everything right. Whatever America wants, you give them whatever. They're swimming. The economy is doing well.
They're swimming.
They're swimming. They're actually
With leisure.
They're actually being taught how to swim.
How to swim.
With the rubber band and the balloon.
They've even put rescuers.
Yes, and floating around. Beautiful economy.
They even monitor how you
That
swim.
is South Africa.
South Africa. Then you come to
I think even Egypt.
yeah,
Okay.
Algeria.
Algeria.
Yeah,
Morocco.
yeah. Okay. The
Now that is one country.
Botswana,
Yes.
blue chip boys.
How about Namibia?
Maybe Namibia, yes, Namibia can also fall in that category. I would like to put Kenya and Rwanda
Okay.
in the same blanket.
Okay.
It's a career kind of swimming
Okay.
where we have to learn how to
Now the second category of learning how to
survive the system.
Yes.
What must you do right here? So they talk about human rights. When they talk about comply, okay, you tick some boxes, and which is more or less it's a career kind of driven success.
Yeah.
But again, even that career driven, you are still subject to be employed.
Yeah.
The legislative frameworks and policies of the West still have a sizable amount of control. They wake up in the morning and they don't know to open the class. You may just discover that they don't know how to do what you must do.
Now I'm sure you're talking about Uganda there. Is that why Uganda votes?
Uganda, you're not there.
Not yet.
You have just created a problem by refusing to enter into a class.
LGBTQ.
That class.
Eh.
Zimbabwe is inside there.
Now,
Let him finish the third one.
Okay.
Before you bring
no,
another
even the
question.
second one is not yet. It's not yet. Yes.
Muganda, you must learn to kumyumyula.
So the second group are these countries that are learning to adapt. Zambia, try to do everything by the book. Tanzania, though there's a problem here and there, but try to comply as much as you can. Chad, Burkina Faso, Niger, Zimbabwe,
Ivory Coast,
Uganda, and the greater part of African countries. And Cuba has been one of the longest prisoners there.
Venezuela,
where you simply have to sit down and say, the white man is not coming back.
What can we do?
We have to.
We have to swim.
Some countries will come out. Some will drown. But it's a do or die. It's a do or die. Yeah. And when it finally collapses, the foreign countries will always come and try and claim like they come to help you. They will help you to drown so that they can help you to come out. That's Libya. That is Afghanistan. That is Israel and Pakistan right now. Destroy you. That is Ukraine.
Yeah. Russia.
Destroy you to pieces.
America.
Then we'll come and help you. We'll give you the guns to fight Russia, but Russia will destroy your infrastructure. We'll donate some few trillions for you to rebuild, and you will owe us all the agricultural projects.
Exactly.
So we'll kill you, and then we'll resurrect you, and you owe us. That kind of policy.
By the time Ukraine comes out of the war, they will be owing America what they will never pay back in our times at least.
Every cent America is put in there.
That analysis.
That's what we have been talking. We came discussing these things in the car.
That's the thing I was talking about that I want you to discuss.
Yeah, but we have been discussing it in Uganda.
No. It did come out in the Friday debates. The way you are seeing that, you analyze the situation. The guns are there. They are taking the guns. But for what reason?
If you want to know the date of Ukraine right now, just see the amount of military support from the day they shot the first bullet to date. Put that figure there. That's what Ukraine owes, plus interest. We will not even include human lives lost. If they are American lives, they may even have an insurance cover.
That's why they are still encouraging them, even when they know that, because
when a man knows that you can afford to pay, they are not afraid how much you eat and how little you eat, as long as you ordered it. They know you eat. America has calculated Ukraine was supplying 30 to 40 to 60% of wheat to the whole world. And because Ukraine was supplying wheat to the whole of Europe, American wheat could not make it into the European market. Now, I'll make this simple for you. This was nothing to do with Ukraine and Russia. This is a war on bread. War is on.
What's changed?
That's changed.
So calculating how much wheat these guys are making, plus fertilizer, plus the market share. Right now, bread which Ukrainians are eating is coming from the US.
Exactly.
The bread.
Wheat, wheat. They're now shipping they have opened up a market in Ukraine for their wheat, for their chickens.
What about that of Ukraine?
The mines, the farms have stopped. There are bombs everywhere. So by the time they come back and clear up the landmines in the fields there,
those are 20 years to clear the bomb.
Farming
Not
again.
even 20.
So America's got a new market in Ukraine. Wheat.
And by the way, America will not let its arms off Ukraine, because Ukraine wheat is its doorway into Europe. So here's the secret. America will collect the same amount of wheat which Ukraine was selling out and put it in Ukraine and utilize Ukraine's networks for distributing it into Europe. And the profits are being collected in America, but they're being processed in Ukraine.
Bishop.
So you want the market. So America will not leave Ukraine.
Bishop, it is what they are doing in Syria. You look at the fields, the wheat fields in Syria. They have failed to move away. They are still in Syria. They are controlling the wheat fields in Syria.
Libya, they're not moving away from the oil fields.
Exactly. But you see here, because
while a country is collapsing that side, their pipes
are
pulling oil
Yes.
every day.
Yes. Anyway, before I go, I have a question there.
Muganda nebuuzo leero.
But before taking you back to Zimbabwe.
Muganda knows he's utilizing the time.
No,
No, I'm joking.
I'm a scholar.
Hey, I'm joking. I'm joking.
And incidentally, Bishop, we have a platform for professors and doctors at Kenya. They are throwing your teachings every day. Me, I see them and I'm telling you, we are on the platform. There is a guy called Kato. He's a Dr. Kato. He just gets his clips and he puts them on. So you just see people writing.
Kato, the one who
No.
Another one.
These are the people with the brains in Africa. These are wild. They just keep saying, oh, you
must take a chair now and send them a clip of us talking together.
Actually, yeah, we should get that. Yeah, and now these are professors. These are doctors. But you see, what I've liked now, that's why I told you even the other time they are for doctor. They are beginning to appreciate the message. These are things that you talked about so many years
Dr.
ago.
Kuyankuba used to go to Makerere to speak.
Appreciating.
People, it's like he was speaking Spanish, and he was to Makerere University students. They will not understand. It is now that they have seen this. That now his clips. The other clip the other day I saw, it was about 4 million views, just recently, yesterday. But Kuyankuba had been going to Makerere for many years. They were not understanding. Until you find yourself in a crisis, that's when you start saying, but the other day Dr. Kuyankuba said this. You start looking for it. It is making sense today, what he was saying.
Even it is the same thing that is happening.
By the way, Bishop, you remember, I told you last time you came here, I told you that you're more popular here in Uganda than we, the journalists here. You realize when I came to Entebbe, they recognized you first before me, the Ugandan there. So your clips, they are making sense today in Uganda more than anywhere else. I think even more than Zimbabwe.
And again, while you're on that, my elder, in inspiration and having a meeting with gods in our intellectual space, where you sit down and you apply your mind to matter and issues, and vigorously so, until you have some inspiration and some spark of knowledge. It's not like the Pentecostal church where then you must fall and have, but all of a sudden you're able in your mind, because you've opened up to learning, to join the dots. And damn, this thing, so it's a legislation, feeds into this and feeds into this, and you actually be able to see that clearly. That's where perception comes in. Many people are inspired, many people have eyes, but to see and to perceive are not the same thing. To hear and to understand are not the same thing. So you could talk at your university and they can hear you.
But they can't understand you.
But to understand is another thing. It's like, you may not agree with himself anyway. You may hear him, but you may not understand him. And when I hear him speak, what I'm gathering is he's saying, we have a right to self-existence.
Yes.
The issue of LGBT is secondary.
That's not even our problem as Africans.
Can we just also have self-determination as a people? Now, if you don't hear him, you'll hear him talking about, you think that he's anti-LGBT or whatever. But he's saying, no, man, in this basket of allowing other people to start dictating to you what you must eat, what you must drink, who you must sleep with, when does it stop? And when you are busy telling me all these things, you don't give me permission also
to ask you,
to tell you also what to do. So it's disrespect of the highest order. Now that's an old man speaking, and therefore to sit around always running with eyes or to run with your ears, you will walk away with very little of the data. You may want to say, yes, I saw him, but did I perceive him? I heard him.
But did I understand him?
And now that I understand him, can I understand him?
Understand him.
Can I overstand him? So that is the information when you hear it, sometimes it does not appeal to you because it challenges the institutions of learning where you're coming from. And then you want to protect the same system that is destroying you. But because we are academically trained to say they are right and Maponga is wrong. But I'm wrong based on what? Based on the Harvard method of economics, based on the Oxford. But were you ever in Harvard? No, the teacher who told me said, but did you know where you got it from? And again, at the day comes the issue of authorities. Who do you allow? So if right now Maponga should say something and the Imam says something, who do you believe?
The Imam.
Who do you believe? Even if in some certain cases I am more informed
Than the Imam. But Mr. Sirajje will listen to the Imam. Imam Bwate Wagambi. The Imam has said so.
And it's not bad. It's not bad. But had we been conditioned to the right sources, maybe we would not be in that conundrum. We would find ourselves compromised in corridors of knowledge simply because we're biased towards one form of learning vis-a-vis another format of learning.
Wow. Now, Bishop.
Felt like a lecture now.
Yeah, Muganda ine chibuzo chirala. Muganda buzo. He wants to utilize his time. Once he has seen you.
He didn't tell me I was part of the program, but this was a gate crash. Me, I came here to meet up my prof.
Yeah. You know, I'm ever with him.
Now you must ask all the questions he has had.
This is.
I'm going to report you.
Ask another question, Muganda.
That's how I live with him.
Hey.
I ask. I seek knowledge all the time from those who know. Yeah. When I look at Zimbabwe, they have taken long to come out of this. The way they were conditioned by the whites. Yes, even us, we are like that. But why is it that it has taken them all this time for them to get out of this?
Have you been in an accident in your life?
Yeah, twice.
A big accident.
Twice.
You were sober. You were not drunk.
No, I wasn't.
But when you were awake throughout.
Yes.
You never had an accident where you
black out.
You black out.
No.
I'm not wishing you bad luck. But the day it happens, there's a difference. Yeah. You have an accident and it's bad. If you have a head concussion, you may black out.
Yeah.
If you are in a river, tough luck. You may drown in your blackout state.
Yeah.
If you have hit some stones, tough luck. Your engine may catch fire, and you may burn in your car. But in the absence of all other dangers, you will sleep there until you begin to hear some oil, something falling on you, feel your broken legs beginning to get cold, or you feel some scars, glasses beginning to cause an itch. The question you're asking me is, how long does it take you to wake up after an accident? Some people have been in a coma for 6 months, some 2 years, some 10 years, still in a coma. They are alive, the heart is beating, but the person is still not conscious. Their mind is still where they left off driving from the shop, and they're here in a coma, and they've not woken up to see where they're going. So when you have an economy that has been driven in a certain way for 100 years, comfortable, then you have an economic accident like we did in Zimbabwe. And it's not a fair question to say how long and why did it take you so long. It takes us this long because some people still think
the white man is.
He'll come back. Some people think if we change the leader, then we may become favorites. Some people think, no, there must be another way. Let's bring more money. These are the economists. Just manage the people. Some people think, until you finally discover short-term problems, short-term solutions. You can't use short-term solutions to long-term problems.
Yeah.
Because these problems are going to be here for a very long time. It took us this long because the colonial systems were still on the ground. Banks were still there. Insurance was still there. The education system was still running. Though they were not happy with the leadership, but people were still employed until the multinational companies started pulling out of the economy. Then we realized we did not just hit a pothole. It was a full head-on collision with the Western system. And our bus was out of the rail. There's never been inflation in the whole world that goes to 11 million%. Show me in all your economics books. First country to have 1 trillion printed on paper is Zimbabwe. And from 1 trillion inflation to come back to $13.50 Zimbabwe dollar per dollar in the US within a space of 20 years. It means something.
Yeah, I can see.
It means something. So it's not a short-term thing. It just
How do you relate that with we had a situation here in 1970. We had the president was cantankerous.
I mean,
just woke up and said enough is enough.
Indians go.
Our people are poor because of you. Our people don't have anything because of you. You're enjoying everything. You're the ones in offices. You're taking the minerals.
Taking the land.
Taking the land. You own the shops.
1 week to go. How long did it take you to recover? And these are Indians.
Yeah, these
are not even British.
Yeah.
We're just dealing with merchants.
Yes, merchants. Though even most whites, British, also went with them.
They don't know where.
Yes, also them to Canada. Somehow, people believe that the way the country is moving, the economy is moving, he takes the credit. While others think that, no, we have not developed. We have not developed.
Had Amini not chased away the Indians
Yes.
without being sounding insensitive.
Yes.
Your indigenization
Yes.
and local ownership of businesses and infrastructure would have been far much less. They would have monopolized. You see, there's something dangerous when you invite those with bigger appetites when you have not yet developed small appetite. Because in the midst of coming into civilization, you still don't know where the forks and knives are. You don't know where the toilets that are flashing are. You don't know where the doors of the school are. You don't know the value of the property. And I bet you some of those Indians who were buying those properties in town bought them from local people for a few shillings.
Yes.
A goat and a chicken.
Yeah.
And the men, without knowing and understanding the value of land, they lose it. So the issue of development being measured in terms of how many foreigners are actually doing well in our country cannot be true development. Development is how many local people are running the means of production. If right now we wanted to run elections in Uganda full time, and the president would say, I need $100 million on the table, and I don't want a penny from foreign investment. The day we can raise that money, our politics become legitimate. But as long as we have small opposition parties that are begging money from the windows,
not only opposition parties, even the incumbent government,
and borrowing money through the windows. The question is, after we've given you our money, does it only come as money?
No.
Or it comes with a small little piece of paper, an attachment, and an annexure. You know, terms and T's and C's apply.
Yes.
And the question is, at the end of the day, do we have a president, or we are being managed by T's and C's apply?
Terms and conditions, T's and C's. But now, Bishop.
So sovereignty is lost in the midst of not developing local business people to own. We want a local business person to own the biggest bank in Uganda.
I think it is a problem that is in Kenya. Most businesses are being owned by foreigners.
No, it is even coming here to Uganda.
Yeah,
Why are you talking about Kenya when
So we need another Idi Amin again. for some few days to say,
okay.
whoa.
Because now,
We're
Bishop,
still developing inside.
because right now, President Museveni is undoing what Amin had done. He's actually inviting those foreign investors, actually giving them even free land and free tax incentives, which they are not giving to local investors. If you look around now, you find that there are more foreign investors than there is the local investors. And those foreign investors have better tax incentives than the local ones.
True that, but I'll be slow on that one, deliberately so. You need foreign investments.
Yeah.
Not that they are the only form of investment. We need foreign investments, but you can't run an economy purely on foreign investments. We need foreign investments, but they must come in our terms and conditions to do their investments. We need foreign investments, but priority must be given to local investments. I'll classify and clarify what I'm saying.
Now here it is different.
I'm coming to that. So that when you are having to fundraise a certain amount of money for your budget, the question is, foreign investment and aid is a shortcut to industrialization locally, so that you can mop your own taxes. So if you should be able to get into indigenous farming, and right now let's say the concept you're talking about at the beginning, where every Ugandan person can have 13 lines, 13 lines, 13 lines, 13 lines, and 13 and 13 and 13. 52 million people, each one with 13 lines each. The amount of your export of the 13 lines, your whole market, you have bananas that will be on the streets, on trucks and on the roads. You won't know what to do with those kind of stuff. Look at the spillage of that immediately. Look at the spillage of those 13 lines. And this is only one aspect, which is agriculture. Only. That the same money you're looking for in terms of, we've received $3 million US, $5 million US. You can make a calculation. How much money do you need to raise? How many bananas, tons of bananas do you need to run to pay, to sell, to get $3 million? Are you telling me that you cannot get $3 million?
We can.
Rather than waiting for someone from America to come and say, you must shake a hand, here's a $3 million.
Sign here, sign there.
And so development, sustainable development as I call it, is much more, it's a better way of building an economy than donor money and foreign investment and multinational companies coming around with it. Because immediately they give you that check, you owe them. But if you should sell your own products, who do you owe? You are free to decide what you want to do with your own money. So we need to, and immediately we could activate. So you need again what I might want to call, to do what we call enabling businesses. Enabling businesses unlock the market to operate fully. So things like roads, hospitals, food security, and a good education. Immediately those facilities are available. The community begins to start sorting itself out to utilize that and create a sustainable business model. So we need to place our investments in businesses that are able to make communities function. And by so doing, the communities will sort themselves out. When people have enough money, they can afford their houses. They can build their own houses. They can build their own roads. They can build their own hospitals. They can build their own hotels. It's not always what the government doing. What's the government doing fixing potholes? No. If you tell me that you have 10, 15, 20 million near people around here, each one, hey, emergency, we're driving to town, our road is messed up there. Give me 5, give me 5, give me 5. Imagine if we had 10 of the professor around here. Would you need the government to fix the road? We've seen it in Zimbabwe. Individuals have started to put their money to build a hospital, a full hospital, world class, without a cent from the government. Theaters, full stuff and everything. Mopping money. I've seen a school in Mwenezi, where I'm coming from, where they build a school from chickens in the community. They asked each family to contribute 3 to 4 chickens. The whole district. They collected the chickens and sold them.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, this is Andrew Irumba, Katusabe, your speaker, and this is Bishop Joshua Maponga in Kampala. We've just been casually discussing here And I think we hope to see him on 31st of August 2024 during the Pan-African Global Award.
Yeah. Thank you.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.